The Blood Parliament. That is the title of the documentary that has currently been publicized by the BBC News in regards to their investigation into the happenings of the June 25th, 2024 during the anti-finance bill protest in Kenya. But one picture has currently caught the attention of many. A picture of a KDF officer that went ahead to fire the shot that killed Eric Shieni after the invasion in parliament just few seconds after the young men were leaving the parliament of Kenya and were running out. Now, the said officer was being identified by the BBC as one linked to the Kenya Defence Forces. Uh, has become a subject of discussion all over social media as Kenyans try to verify the info and really get to see whether the KDF were deployed in time to be at the scene where the shots were fired at the Parliament of Kenya during that day. Now, according to the intel and the news that we are getting, a lot of Kenyans are currently trying to verify this info and relating this information that has come to light to some certain happening that happened about 5 to 6 days ago. Now, according to the intel that we are receiving, there was a fake KDF officer who was arrested last week. Do you remember the news? It is the news. There are some of the news that made headlines last week. A fake KDF officer by the name of Wellington Kimutai was arrested last week, and he was situated at Embakasi Barracks. A Kenyan man identified as Wellington Kimutai Kipiegon had been arrested for allegedly impersonating officers of the KDF. That was a publication that came to light last week. Now, according to the comparison of the said man into what is currently going on, now the involvement of anti-terrorism police officers added another layer of intrigue to the case, though officials have kept details about Kipiegon's motives and background closely guarded. Kilimani Sub-County Police Commander Patricia Yegon declined to provide details when contacted by the media, stating only that it would be inappropriate to release information at that stage. Most alarming is how Kipyegon's allegedly operated with complete freedom within military grounds, reportedly spending several days with military personnel who apparently never questioned his identity. He was found in possession of a counterfeit military ID card and uniforms believed to have been acquired from a former soldier discharged from the service. Now, that is the news in regards to the said man, Kimutai Kipiegon, Wellington Kimutai Kipiegon. That is the man that is currently rumored to have been a fake KDF officer. But come to look at it, Kenyans have started comparing the photos and images of the said two people, Wellington Kimutai and the unidentified KDF officer that is said or has been alleged to be the one that fired the shot that took the life of one Eric Shieni on the day of the 25th of June during the Occupy Parliament demonstration. According to one other Sako Ongoma says, if he is the one, then probably the KDF identified him after BBC reached out to them for comments before releasing the documentary. To exonerate themselves from eventual blame and public backlash, the KDF then decided to say that he is not one of them, that he is an imposter. Now, Kenyans have taken onto social media to react to the said allegations. I see one Gina Muyanga saying, the imposter of last week, based in Embakasi Garrison, right? And other Sakwa Ongoma answers by saying, Yeah, at the end of the documentary, BBC said that they reached out for comments from the KDF and police. They probably showed them the videos. I am sure the KDF can identify who the shooter was from the videos. Alexis says, the two faces can you give the facial features and probability of being the same person? He asked Perplexity. Uh, and Perplexity says, both individuals are wearing similar military camouflage uniforms and appear to have a similar build and skin tone. However, due to the angles, lighting, and lack of clear facial details in the images, it's not possible to confidently determine if they are the same person just from these photos. Additional distinguishing features like scars, tattoos, or clear facial characters would be needed for more accurate comparison. But bwana, you want us to get you clear pictures, and this was during the demonstrations. Now, Carnage says, what if he is actually not one of them and just wore the KDF attire to disguise himself as one? Mhm. Shoba Gatimu anasema hiyo mdomo na pua zinafanana mbaya sana. Chege Alois anasema mi ile kitu najua ni hauwezi ingia barracks kienyeji bila wewe kujulikana, leave alone being an imposter. This dude is not an imposter, but he has to be gotten rid of. Moving Ogutu says, we know what you're trying to do, to blame the fake KDF while the one who murdered people on the street is still out there and they will be found. Kerema Sound says, we all know hata kuingia kwa barracks huwa an uphill task. How they decided he is an imposter after living with them probably was threatened asijaribu kujitetea ama kuprove anything juu angekuwa jela sahii. When we look at the details and what Kenyans are saying, we come up with only one answer to what has been said. That the happenings of the 25th of June, that is a day that will go down in history. It's the darkest day of President William Ruto's tenure as the President of the Republic of Kenya, and it's the darkest day of any president that has ever ruled the 254. Now, on matters of this officer, it is a matter of you as the viewer of this video to come to tell us whether you think the two people have any similar characteristics according to how you see the pictures. But according to how I see them, the features of these two personnels seems to be identical in a way. On a percentage of a 1 to 100, I can rate it at 70 to 80%. What about you? Leave your comment on the comment section. Remember to subscribe. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.